10 hot real estate investment ideas for you. My name is Solomon Evarist, and welcome to the podcast Real Estate Talk with Solomon Evarist. Now, today we'll be discussing 10 investment ideas that are hot in the market, 10 investment ideas that can help you from 0 to 1 million to 1 billion. Opportunities, yes, good opportunities for you in the real estate investment space. Now, this is it. Number one on my list, land banking. I know you've heard about this conversation, especially from my previous episode where I did a full expose on land banking. If you've not watched that video, please go back. Yes, top on the list of this podcast, you'll find the video on land banking. Play it and then learn from it. Land banking is a big opportunity for real estate investors, especially in this period where everybody is looking towards acquisition of land. Yes, a lot of people learn from their mistake. A lot of people also learn from those who did it in the past. A lot of people heard of stories where people bought land for 100,000, and in 15 years time the same land that went for 100,000 sells for about 15 million, 20 million, 50 million, and so on. Yeah, there was a popular story or testimony of a lady that bought land for about 1.5 million somewhere in Lekki, and in 15 years' time, the land was valued at over 90 million naira. Now, what is land banking? Land banking is simply you or an investor going into a new developing community environment where land is still affordable, and then you buy a big size of this land or multiple plots, okay? Yes, with the plan or intention to resell in the future to make more money, right? So instead of banking your money with the bank, you're not banking your money in land. You buy land, you hold on to it, and then you resell in the future. Now, this has made a lot of people millionaires. Yes, I am practically telling you for sure that lots of people have been made millionaires in the past 5 years. Yes, not to talk about those who have been doing it for the past 20 years, 30 years, and so on. Yeah, I also want to relate a very common example with a friend and partner who sold 6 plots of land to a client. So a client bought land, about 6 plots of land, yes, for 17.5 million naira total package for 6 plots of land somewhere in Abuja, and this was just around 2018, 2019. Now, guess what? The same location, the same environment where this person did land banking for 6 plots is currently going for 30 million naira per plot. Now, guess what? This person will have been able to sell just 3 out of 6. 3 of those plots out of 6, and he has recovered times that's about times 3 of the total investment in 6 plots from just 3 plots. So imagine you buying 6 plots of land at 17.5 million total package, and now each one is worth over 30 million naira. So if you've done 3 plots out of that in this current market value, that is about 90 million naira, and then you still have 3 more plots to go, right? So this is the benefit of land banking. I have so many stories, life stories, and testimonies to give you on land banking. But if you don't do it yourself, you will never find out if it is true or if it is real. Okay, so this is just me being very honest with you. You can ask around. A lot of people have been doing land banking even from the days of Abraham, right? Yes, so ask your friends. They could be doing the same thing. So go to where there's prospect, an area that has potential, buy land, hold on to it, and in a couple of years you sell and you make your money. Yes, so currently the trend is a lot of people understand this, and that is when you see land. Everybody, you see estates here springing up and down, and you see people buying, because if they are not buying, people will not be selling. So most of the estate projects you see are land banking projects that investors are looking at buying. Okay, they are putting their money into those projects, and it's also helping for development within semi-urban areas and even rural communities. Because when people go to buy, this land, they open up infrastructure, they open up roads, they make these places accessible and all that. So you should consider land banking as your game A if you are looking at an opportunity in the real estate space. So let's talk about number two. You don't want to miss out on number two. Number two on our list of hot real estate investment opportunity for you, an investor, and for everyone out there who wants to spring or jump into the real estate investment game. Number two is commercial development. Commercial development. Now, this is a simple, strategy where you buy land that are well situated that can serve for commercial purposes. And when we say commercial purposes, we're talking about a business area where business can be conducted. So imagine you buying land by the roadside or strategically located in a very populated district, estate location, or city area, okay, and then you use that development for a business purpose or business use. Talk about an event center. Event center seems to be a very lucrative business. Yes. So people who have land that are well positioned in urban areas and city areas, tend to look at event center as a commercial or business opportunity on their real estate space, right? Now, other development can also be a shopping mall, like a business district having different malls and then renting them out. Now, one of the trend in the commercial development space is, where you build office complexes and then you sell each of those units. Now, the normal thing that we're used to for development of malls have been, you build to rent, which is still in vogue anyways. But the trend now for investors is that they build these facilities and they sell those shops in units or they sell those offices in units. Okay, so that way they're able to make their returns and then move to another project. So you could actually buy land in strategic locations. Now, this is not for land banking per se. You can buy land in areas that are already developed and are functional. Okay, yes, it will cost you more, but if you look at the bigger picture in terms of the investment you're making there, then you see that you need to do that, okay, for it to work. So you buy land in a strategic area, possibly, okay, most preferably by the roadside. Yes, by a popular junction, by an expressway, by the roadside where you have flow, traffic, movement of people into and out of that area. So you could situate yourself a business complex. It could be a mixed development. It could be a shopping mall. You could have your own supermarket shop and then you rent out your space to businesses who want to sell in your shopping mall. Yes, you could also have a business mall where offices can be sold or rented, and then you have different shops for different kind of businesses. You could also have a business center that has different use cases: office complex, event center, okay, a mini mart, a car wash business, and so on. So the trend now is that people buy land in strategic locations where the noise is, areas that have been marked for probably mixed development or commercial development, and then they position themselves with a business infrastructure. If you're not building an event center, you're probably building a school if you're into education, or you're building a hotel, or if you're not building a hotel, then you're building probably a plaza or what they call like an auto shop. There are lots of auto shops these days that are also mixed with grill business where you have the nice stuff you can eat, and then people can come to your auto shop, fix their cars, wash their cars, and also have a lounge where they can eat and wine. Then there are so many opportunities. So, but the idea here is to target land situated in areas for commercial that can serve for commercial purposes. We've seen people who buy land in strategic areas for club and lounges, right? Yes. So if you understand the business of club and lounges, then you also want to look at that aspect. So if you have land in a strategic area, instead of building your dream home in a very noisy place, in a very noisy part of town where there's too much traffic, do you know you can actually convert that opportunity by developing a commercial use case infrastructure or structure? Yes, you can sell. Okay, you can sell your spaces, you can rent out your spaces, you can do as you please. But the whole idea is you're doing something that will fetch you money and good return on investment. So land for such development must be in a strategic location. Yes, it will cost you, but then it will also give you good money. right? So ask around and you'll find out for yourself. Now, another thing about the commercial development is that if you have the land that is strategic, you can go into conversations with businesses or franchise of businesses, okay, and build what they will want. There are people who, meet out food vendors, popular food vendors. They meet out maybe an ice cream shop. They meet out a pizza shop, a popular lounge, and then they discuss a proposition to build a facility that will house all of them in the same place. So that way, when you buy, if they buy into your idea, as you're building your commercial plaza, you're building it for this targeted audience. And you're building to people who you can give a long lease, right? So there are so many ideas around commercial development that we cannot exhaust in this video. But I think from what I've just said now, you probably have gotten tons of ideas on how to go about it. Okay? So let's look at number 3 on our list on the hottest or hot real estate investment opportunities for you. Number 3 on our list is build to rent or build to sell for residential. Now we've talked about commercial. What about residential? Do you know you can buy land, okay, in areas that are designated for residential? You can build on them. You can decide to sell. Now people think it is only when you have an estate that you can sell properties. No, you can actually have a plot of land or 6 plot of land in a space, 4 plots, 2 plots, depending on the size. Then you build something ideal for a residential. It could be high rise of about maybe 4 floors, 7 floors, depending on what approval you're getting from the building agency. It could be you're doing 12 floors, you could be doing just two, okay? You could be doing just one, but the whole idea is that you can buy land in an area where it is, within the quiet and peace with tranquility and serenity. You can build and then sell each of your flats. You mustn't rent them, yes. But the popular idea there is that people build to rent, right? But in this dispensation, in today's world, a lot of investors want to make their money and move on to other projects. So you could build yourself 2 or 3 floors of multi-family apartments. Let's say 2 bedroom apartment, which is one of the most popular apartment type or category. Okay, so imagine yourself using a plot of land or 2 plots of land to develop yourself 12 units of 2 bedroom apartment on the respective floors. I can take them. You can sell about 2 of those floors, or you can sell 50% of those units, okay, and then you can rent out the other. So by selling 50% of a block of flats with 12 units or 9 units, you'll probably be getting almost 50% of what you've invested and even more. And then the rest you're putting out for rent becomes your cash flow. You can decide to resell if you want to, or keep it ongoing as rent. So that is another great idea that investors are looking at and practicing in today's real estate market. So you could build residential projects on your land. You can sell them, okay? You can rent them out, right? Now, I've seen a lot of investors that use this idea where they have 2 plots of land, let's say about 1,000 square meter or even 700 square meter. They build a duplex in front, and then by the side or the back of the duplex, they have apartment units for rent. So what it means is that they have their home, okay, which is a duplex, and then they have apartment units at the back co-joined with their units. So the rental income they get from those units can sustain their lifestyle. So if you're not a person who want to utilize so much space or have your country home at the moment, and you're looking at enjoying your comfort and cash flow, you can utilize this idea. Build yourself a comfortable terrace or a duplex in front. Then you have other units attached to it that you can rent out just to keep your cash flow coming. So that way you have your own home where you're not paying rent, and then you're getting rent from other people or your tenants and taking care of your lifestyle, as well as planning other investment opportunities for yourself. So building to rent still help you make a lot of money, and building to sell still help you make good money. So most of the ideas around urban developed area is that people don't those who don't have the space to start building 500 units of houses, bungalows here and there. people actually go to source out for maybe a plot, half plot, two plots, and so on. Then they build these residential apartments and put them out for sale. Now, another thing about the idea on building residential apartment is that you can also get other value chain out of it. The value chain of maintenance, okay? The value chain of service. You provide service for the apartment. So if you're building a luxury apartment of let's say 12 units or 6 units, 9 units, you could have a management arm that services the apartment. So let's say your apartment has lifts, the apartment requires water to be supplied or generated, electricity too, clean of common area, swimming pool, and other little attachments. Okay, of course, there will have to be a management team. And who says you cannot run that management team or hire a management team and then keep the cash flow coming, right? Okay, so let's look at number 4 on our list. Number 4 on our list of hot real estate investment opportunities for you, investor, is to sell part of your real estate assets and then develop the other part. Now, this is in terms of land. For those of you who have been buying land for years and who are just starting on with your land banking, habit. Yeah, do you know you can actually buy or utilize your land banking space? Let's say you've secured yourself about 6 plots of land or 12 plots of land. Now, in the future, what that can do for you, the opportunity that portends for you or can provide is that you can choose to develop half of what you have. So if you have 6 plots, you can develop 3 plots, okay, and then you can sell the other plots to develop, right? So if you have 6 plots of land, you can sell 3, use the proceeds to develop the other 3 that you can sell and then rent out. Okay, so that idea still works. Now we've seen people who have done land banking in the developed city area. What they do now is that if they want to build, okay, because of the value of the land itself, the value of the land that they have, if they have multiple plots, they tend to sell some, then use the money to build on the other. Now this is it's a very common idea that investors put up today. So when you see people buying plots, if you notice, some persons don't buy just a plot. And that is why we advise for land banking that if you must do land banking, do it on multiple plots. That is because at the end game of it all, you're going to be faced with the opportunity to sell parts to develop the other parts or sell some to raise money for something, right? So what some investors do is that they buy multiple plots. Okay, so apart from the fact that we encourage people to buy, get yourself a plot of land, yes, so it goes beyond just getting yourself a plot of land where it is strategic, where it is affordable, where it stands as a strategy for you to win. It is advisable that you go for multiple plots of land. Let's say 2 plots, right? So if you have 2 plots of 500 square meter, you can sell one, okay, when it appreciates, to develop the other one. If you have 10 plots, you can sell 5 or 2, 4, and so on to develop the other part. So whatever your plan is, okay, especially when the land is in a place that you love. If you find a good land that has checked your list of due diligence and area list, your finance and all of that, and then you think it is ideal for your home, and probably you have no plans or you're looking at how you can build that dream home of yours, you can actually strategically buy multiple plots with intention to sell. So I've seen a lot of people who have done that. I've also helped people do that, right? So when they look at the plot, they say, "Oh, Solomon, we like this spot. We like to have our dream home here. But for us to do that, let's get this number of plots." So, for an example, if an estate or a project is going for 10 million per plot, and I think they have the budget to go for like 5 plots or 6 plots now with the intention and with the idea that their dream home will cost them over 200 million, and of course, since they're not ready to build now, it is possible that with such an idea, they can, buy 6 plots or bank on 6 plots with the idea of selling 3 in the future. Okay, when it appreciates, to give them that value for the kind of a dream home that they want to build for themselves. Now we've seen lots of that in areas like Lekki Phase One to Chevron, Abijo, Shagotin, within the Lekki Ekpe axis, where people bought multiple plots and then they were able to sell just one, and one plot alone could get them a standing a building, right? Yes, so there were people who bought Lekki for 6 million, and now Lekki is going for about 250 million to 400 million, 500 million, and so on. So with that, of course, you can you can sell one plot and take care of your needs, right? So it also happens in city areas. I've seen it happen in Abuja. I've seen it happen in Oka, in Enugu, Port Harcourt, in major city areas where people strategically own land in the city center. And when they sell just a part of it, it was more than enough to build their dream home. So you can look at this idea as one of the opportunities for you in the real estate space. If you find a good real estate deal for land that you can, expand or increase your investment plan or target, please do so. Okay, you never can tell. You may just be banking on a part of that asset to take care of the other part or to take care of other needs. So it's a wise idea. If you see a good land in a good location, don't just buy one. Buy two, buy three. Yes, yes, it helps. It helps. It has helped a lot of people. It has helped a lot of people, especially within developed area or anywhere you're buying now. Okay, so let's look at number 5 on our list of real estate investment opportunity. Hot real estate investment opportunity. Number 5 on our list is lease. Yes, lease. Now, what lease does? Lease is the same thing as rent. The difference is the duration. Okay, the duration. So let's say you're renting annually. You can rent for 2 years or 3 years and so on. But lease is for a longer period of time. Let's say 5 years lease, 10 years lease, 20 years lease. The good thing about a lease is you're leaving the land to a temporary owner for a longer period of time, okay, and then you're getting good money for the land. And after the owner might have put that land to use, okay, you can come back and take possession of your land. Now let me have this conversation with you on lease. Now, one of the things that I've seen with people who have leased their land is that they come back to a higher and better appreciated value for that land. So you have 6 plot of land in a place where it is strategic to lease for about 1 million naira per annum, right? For 10 years, that is 10 million. So you're getting 10 million naira for a 10-year lease on your asset, let's say plot of land. Yes, now in 10 years' time, when you will be taking possession, and let's also say that the 10 million you got from this land, you probably used it to buy another land or other plots of land, right? As a wise investor that you are. So in 10 years time, you take possession of this other property that's been leased. Guess what? The person or the people who will be leasing will be adding value. Remember, when they use the land, the more functional the land is or the real estate asset is, it can also be a building, the more it appreciates in value of over 10% and above per annum or every 3 years, right? Yeah. So after the lease, you have a much more appreciated value oriented assets that you can decide to renew with a higher rate, or you can decide to keep to yourself. You can decide to sell out when it has well appreciated. So a property that you lease out for 1 million per annum for 10 years, in 10 years time, that plot or that land probably will be going for about, let's say, 70 100 million naira. Now at 100 million naira value, if you're to lease again, you cannot be leasing at 1 million per annum. You'll probably be leasing for over maybe 3 million naira per annum. Then if you do that again for another 10 years, you're talking about maybe 30 million or whatever the mathematics is, because these things can just go so big, right? Yes, so it depends on how the development is, and then the kind of traffic flow in that environment. It can go beyond that. But at the end of the day, what it means is that you can get good money when you lease your assets, land or property, lease it out for use. Okay, and after the period of lease, you can go back and take possession. You can decide to continue the lease, but at a new rate, right? You can take possession, you can resell, you can take possession, you can sell, or you can take possession for your own use. And guess what? At the end of the lease, you may probably be finding an opportunity for yourself. So it is a situation or a simple case of you can eat your cake and have it. So while it is on a long lease, it probably looks like you sold the land, but at the end of the day, you still have rights of ownership to the land, and you can still make all of those decisions and choices for yourself. So leasing is another way people make money from properties, especially when you buy land in an area where you think you're not going to use for the next 5 years, 10 years, and so on. You can decide to put it on lease Right, yes. So there are businesses that would want to lease out a property rather than buying that property. Yes, especially if the property is well positioned. Now, the investors who look out for prime locations where they know they can lease out. So you don't just buy land anywhere and say, "Oh, I want to lease." It depends. Unless you are leasing for agricultural use, yes, that can be anywhere. But if you're leasing and your plan is to lease to properties to companies or multinationals, I will probably be using this land space for a warehouse, okay, a storage farm, or one thing or the other that is very valuable. Then you have to be strategic about it. So there are investors who look out for prime locations that are ideal for leasing and they buy. So people don't just buy properties anyhow. There are people who say, "Oh, it must be on the roadside," right? So when you see an estate by the roadside, you want to rush and buy, right? Yes, because you know the plans for projects and you know the value for projects by the roadside. There are people who say, "Oh, if I cannot get the roadside, maybe 100 meters or 500 meters from the road, internal road, and all of that." Once it's close to an area that is of that has a major road channel, and all of that. So you have to be intentional about the kind of property you're buying for leasing. So that way you attract the market of people who will be interested in leasing or paying you that good money for that period of years for the lease. Okay, so I hope you found this idea interesting. But let's look at the next on our list. Number six on our list of hot real estate investment opportunity for you is planning for long term your multi branch business. So let's say you have plans to have a franchise. It could be a food franchise, it could be a transport franchise, it could be for smartphones, a school franchise, and so on. Now you can also actually start the planning by banking on land in strategic locations. So let's say for every good location where there's an estate project or a new scheme, you're buying one plot of land, you're buying two plots of land, you're buying four per location. Now, what does that do for you? When you're ready for your multi-branching business or your franchise to go live, you don't have to spend so much money to buy land in the value of what your of when you'll be ready for your business. You already have this land situated. So another thing that I've learned from smart investors is that those who have plans to have multi-branch businesses or chains of businesses are running, different routes and connecting routes and all of that, is that they buy the land on time. So that way you're buying it when it is affordable. So you look out for functional locations with prospects. Okay, so if there's a new city area, if they're saying, "Oh, this is going to be the new town, the new Nigeria, the new Lagos, the new New York, the new New York, or the new Dubai, and so on," so you're probably going there to look for a nice location for yourself. You buy land there, okay, in preparation for your business idea. Yes, because let's say you have plans for the next 10 years or the next 5 years, the next 3 years, and you've already acquired all of the land. Okay, at that point, you're no longer talking about land again because you have taken your time to plan your location and you have acquired the land. The next thing will now be the infrastructure and going live with the business, right? Now, if you are in a position where you're seeking for investors, okay, it means you have more bargaining chips, right? There's a lot you're bringing to the table. Yes, if you're seeking for investors, you're seeking for partners, you're seeking for a bank loan or one support or the other, or a share fact that you already have these assets, supporting you ahead of the business. It gives you a lot of leverages on the table of conversation as regards to your business. So if you're planning a big business opportunity or big business idea, okay, this is the best time to start buying the land or securing the real estate asset for that business idea of yours. Yeah, so make hay while the sun shines. Now let's listen to the next business idea for you. Number seven on the list is like number six, business expansion. Now, for every new location out there in the market, there is a business opportunity in that location. I've seen people who take club and lounge business to every new business location. So, for a new business or new residential layout or new town development, they have their land strategically positioned, they have their business strategically location. A month ago, I met a friend who sells building materials just by the expressway to new town development. And then he said, oh man, you just have to position yourself because these new areas are coming in so fast. So he has gone ahead of his peers to secure himself a location, right? Because he's expanding his business. So while he has multiple other branches and town, he's also not forgetting that money has to be made from the new developing areas. So you go to new development centers or developing areas, you find businesses like block manufacturing plants, you find businesses like water factories or water manufacturing plants, you find businesses like furniture making, you find building a warehouse, building material warehouse, and all of that. So these are businesses that plan for this expansion intentionally. I know of a vendor somewhere by the Orchid Road, that position his or herself, for the business of supplying building materials. And guess what? Within a space of 2 or 3 years, this vendor has been known for supplying one of the highest quantity of quality business materials to all the builders within that location. And that came from positioning, strategic positioning. So where there's a new development, there's an opportunity for businesses. Yes, so as a business person, you should be able to spot out the right time to move to a new location in terms of expanding your business reach, and then taking your market share. So if you're looking at that economic advantage for you to invest into real estate, for some of you who have said, "Oh, I don't, I've made, I've, I don't depend on real estate for my money, my cash flow. I've made money from other areas." Now, it's not just about the money you get, the return on investment when you do land banking or any of these other ideas. It is also for your own advantage, your own business expansion advantage. So if you're not buying because you want to make money from real estate or because you've had so much money from other sources, you're buying because you need a location to expand your business. Okay, so if you're expanding your business, you still need a physical location. So it's going to help you in your own business, whether as an investor who is not enthusiastic about real estate, or an investor who feels like, oh, I have all the money, I can rent at any time, I can buy property at any time. So it saves you money here and then gives you a good advantage to move to the location of choice and position yourself. So you can plan your business expansion by simply buying assets at the right time or buying early enough to be the first footprint in that particular location. So let's look at the next hot investment idea that can help you as an investor. Number 8 on our list of hot real estate investment opportunity for you is what we call sponsorship. Sponsorship. Now, this is a very common business idea. Yes, as common as it is as also rare because not everybody know about it unless you're in the space. That is when you get to understand this particular business idea. It is simply an opportunity for investors to go into developing areas, okay, partner with real estate firms, partner with families to do what we call take care of the land, the early preparation for vast land that is about to enter the market or to be developed. So there are areas you can run sponsorship or partnership with firms and families. One on the sponsorship of the survey for the vast land. Yeah, so you can enter an agreement with families, with companies to survey a vast land that is still new, okay, and then when you provide the survey, you get a compensation in land. So let's say you're sponsoring about 1,000 plots, the compensation could just be about 50, 100, or 200 plots, depending on the bargain between both parties, right? You can also do sponsorship on title. Yeah, so we have investors who sponsor vast land title. You get C of O for the family, you get a particular certain title for the family, and you're rewarded with a certain number of plots per the number of plots, the total plots that you have been able to sponsor. There's also sponsorship for clearing. You can clear a vast size of land and you get land in return. You can also do sponsorship on sand filling. Yes, where you can reclaim a certain vast land, okay, by sand filling. Yes, and then you get rewarded with land. So when you see people, a lot of investors who pride themselves with thousands of acres of land and all of that. A lot of them take advantage of this sponsorship idea or sponsorship opportunity to do so. So you too can create wealth for yourself. You too can create an opportunity for yourself if you find the gaps, okay, that you can fill up in the scale of things within the real estate value chain. Now, it can also be in areas where you need to blast rock. If you sponsor the blasting of this rock to create land, you sure be getting rewarded by land. It could also be areas where you need to excavate. It could be areas where you have to do one or two things, infrastructure. Yes, so all of these work, and it can help you create wealth. Yes. So this is an opportunity for you, for those of you who are looking at getting a vast land, okay, 1,000 plus, 100 plus, and so on. You can leverage on this idea of land sponsorship and get yourself, that opportunity. Okay, so let's look at the other hot investment opportunity for you in the real estate space. Hello there. I believe you're having so much value in this podcast and this conversation on 10 hottest real estate investment opportunity. Now let's look at number 9. Number 9 on our list is JV. Yes, JV, joint venture. Now, what is joint venture all about? I think I should make a podcast separately for joint venture conversation. But joint venture is simply an opportunity for you who is a builder, an investor, okay, with a money bag. You probably want to go into real estate investment, or that is your business or a plan. Then you probably want to build, or you plan to build in the city area where there's development, where the life is the life of the party, right? Now you don't have access to the land, or probably the land is too expensive within your reach. Now you can do what we call JV, joint venture, with the landowner, okay, where you have to build on the land and then you split your asset, you split your development, right? So terms and condition applies. So you have lots of people who have banked on land in the city or the urban area, yes, and a lot of them are not open to selling the land. You may come across this situation where you have land, you can see an empty land in a strategic position, but the owner is not willing to sell. That is because they are also smart as you are, and they have learned about the so much opportunities and potential that their land can bring to them, right? So you may just be coming to the crossroad of partnering with the landowner to build and then share. So in most cases, let's say you have land somewhere in Ikoyi that you're interested in, and probably because of the cost, okay, buying the land will set you back in the development. Where land go for about 2 billion, 3 billion, 4 billion, and so on. So putting 4 billion on the land alone, okay, may just be like a sinking fund. Yes. So you may probably be going into partnership where you can build certain units of property, and then you split with the owner. It could be 50-50, it could be 60-40, it could be 70-30, depending on the value of what you're building. Now, in most cases, the owners know the value of what you can build out of the land, and they will tell you, Riley, this is what you can build, and this is what we want, this is what you can keep for yourself. So that's a great opportunity for builders and for people who are looking at building in hot selling city locations, okay, where you are sure the market is and where you're sure you're going to make your money. So you don't want to say, oh, because I want to build a high rise that I can sell for maybe 100 million per unit or 200 million per unit, and you're taking it to a developing area. That's bad business. It's not a good strategy. So you rather want to do that in an area where you have people who have that demand, who want to live in that neighborhood, who want to live in that community. So you can run JV with landowners and get yourself going. Now, for those of you who are doing land banking, this can also be you in the next 5-10 years. Yes, when the area where you have been banking on develops, you could just be, blessed with that opportunity where land becomes so, valuable, and then developers, engineers, investors will be coming to you, to share in that legacy, to share in that opportunity to build and share the returns of the project, right? Okay, so I hope you find this interesting. Now let's look at number 10 on our list. Number 10 on our list. Stay tuned. This is the real estate investment talk show with Solomon Evarist, and you don't want to miss it for anything. Number 10 on our list for hot real estate investment opportunity for you or the investor is flip housing. Flip housing is as old as anything. It's a strategy that has worked, it's a strategy that is still working, and it's a strategy that you come to appreciate when you learn about the intricacies or you learn more about how you can leverage on flip housing to create wealth for yourself in the real estate market space. Now, what is this flip housing all about? It's an opportunity where investors buy old houses that are out of fashion, okay, structurally okay, but fashion zero, right? You buy these old structures, you renovate them, you flip them into new structures, and then you put them back in the market for selling or rental. Yes, so we've seen this happen in urban areas where they are old development. Yeah, so as we continue in our society, as we continue in our development, you find out that some houses go out of fashion and then they are new development, and people tend to tilt towards new development. You have people who are looking for spaces for office or for residential use, and they are specific about new houses. So who then stays on the old houses? Of course, you have people who are probably in these houses, right? But then if you want to put more value to it, right, you need to flip it around. So if you're buying an old structure, there are people who go around buying old structures in developed city areas. They buy these old structures and then they renovate. Now, if the structure is bad, they go into demolition, they bring it down and they rebuild. But flip housing, the idea around flip housing is to buy old structures that are structurally good, okay, old in fashion, then you refurbish everything about this house, and then that brings out the value of the property. Guess what? Because you're already in a market area, you're already in a part of the city area that the value is there, the traffic is there, the demand is there. So you have the market and you're sure about it. Now, because you're buying it at the old form, you'll be getting a lot of discounts. Okay, yes, if you buy it right and you refurbish right, you will just be making so much money from that. So in certain areas, if you look around you, go to state capitals, go to state capitals, go to developed areas, you will find yourself structures that are out of fashion and they are structurally okay and that can serve you. So flip housing is a great wealth opportunity or a great way where investors can make money for themselves. You buy old structures. It's not just about the residential. You can also do same with commercial. You buy old plazas, you refurbish them, you sell, okay, or you rent at a better rate, at a better market rate or market value as that of the new structures in town. Okay, so this is a great opportunity for you that you can explore and smile in the real estate space. Now, mind you, please do conduct your own analysis, market analysis, before you try out any of these ideas. But I can assure you that these are good pointers. That these are pointers that can help you, make a good investment decision or take advantage of the so many opportunities in the real estate market space. So here we are on the 10 hottest real estate investment opportunity for you as an investor. Pick one, pick two, give them a try, and then leave us a review if you already had some of these if you've implemented some of these ideas, and then tell us how it worked for you so that others can learn in the comment section your good story, your bad story, because we know that at the end of the day, experience are relative, okay, and that differ. So let's learn from you. If you have had an experience on any of these ideas, please leave a comment below. Let's learn from you. And if you've had good days or better stories, let us also learn from you too and see how we can do better. So this is the Real Estate Podcast with Solomon Evarist. Yes, talking about real estate and then lifestyle. You don't want to miss out any of our podcast series. And if you've done, please go back and watch the previous episodes so that you can learn more from this interaction. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you on the next podcast.